So I've been living in London now for about 4 weeks, and there are quite a few differences I found between London and living somewhere else in the UK. So I spent my childhood growing up in Devon, and I've spent the vast majority of my adult life living in Manchester, because that's where I went to university. But now, as of the last 4 weeks, I'm now living in London. So I have quite a few things which I've found which is different in London to the rest of the UK. Some of them are better, some of them aren't so great, but I tell you what, let's find out what they are. The first one is the water. So where I grew up in Devon, the house I lived in, we had spring water, which meant that it wasn't actually connected to the mains water. We got it from spring at the top of the hill, it came down, it got nicely filtered, we collected it, not with buckets or anything, you know, properly pumped up to the house. So apart from when it rained really heavily and the water went a little bit murky, it was very good water, and it's been some of the best water you'd ever drink. Then I went to Manchester, and yeah, okay, it tastes a bit different, but it was fine. No, it was chlorinated, but whatever. I mean, I hadn't drinking chlorinated water before, obviously. It wasn't the first time I'd drunken chlorinated water. Then I came to London, and the first cup of tea I had was interesting. My actual major complaint is that it made the tea taste sweeter. It was, I don't know if that's soft or hard, or I've no idea, not a clue. Or perhaps it's something to do with the fact that it's been used about 25 million times before it's got to me. But the good news is I've found a combat for this problem, and that is to brew the tea longer, which of course makes it slightly more bitter, but that combats the sweetness of the water. We're all good now, I've got a solution for that. Another thing I found in London is that people actually let people off trains before they try and get on. Not always, but 95% of the time, the people actually stand either side of the doorways, let everybody get off the train, and then they get on. Woe betide anybody who is dawdling on the train, because if the crowd assembled thinks that there is nobody else to get off, they all pile on, you haven't got a hope in hell of getting off there. In Manchester, when I was trying to get off the tram, people would always stand right in front of the doors. So anyway, point being, I found that in London, people actually let people off trains. It's amazing. Talking about those trains, there are loads of them. Obviously being loads of them isn't a complaint. What is a complaint is when people miss a tube by 2 seconds and then go, oh, I can't believe I've missed it. Oh, you look up there, it's like there's another one in 2 minutes. Really isn't a problem. Even the route which I take to work, which isn't a really busy route, there is a train every 10 minutes. So as long as you get up early enough to get at least attempt to get the train before you have to get the train, then you will always be on time. Having said that, there is another group of people which I found that exist in London which don't seem to exist anywhere else, and that is 9 to 5 workers who just bulldozer everybody in their path in order to get to where they're going. It's simply amazing. You're crossing the road and people cut in front of you, and it's just really, really odd. Everybody's walking in the same direction. Why do you have to walk over them to get anywhere? There's always the odd person wherever you go, but in London there seems to be lots of them. One of the great things about London is there is so much stuff to do. Everything is so close. If you ever visit London, you might think you have to get on the tube to go between certain places in central London. You just don't. Tube stations in central London are really, really close. You could probably walk between each of them in 5 minutes. You know, some of them you can walk between within 2 or 3 minutes. So once you're in central London, there's no need to get another tube to wherever you need to go, unless it's the other side of town. And when big events come to this country, they often come to London first. So I'm going to see an NFL game next week, and that has been in London for 10 years. It doesn't look like it's going to come anywhere else in the country, just to London. But even regular things which are here in London, so West End shows, Wimbledon, gigs at the O2 or at Wembley Arena, or anywhere that, you know, is a music venue. Here, very close to where I'm staying. Nearly gave that away. Don't really intend to tell people exactly where I live online indiscriminately. So there are also music venues close to where I am, where they are world famous gigs, bands, events come here to London. One of the big things people talk about in London is prices. Yes, rent is a lot more expensive than it is elsewhere. I'm paying about twice as much as I was in Manchester on my monthly rent. Beer prices are definitely a lot more than in other places in the UK. I mean, actually Manchester is probably not the best comparison because it's really cheap in Manchester, but nevertheless, yeah, I'd say it was about twice the price for a pint of beer here in London it is in Manchester. But you know, buying your weekly food, your normal food at the supermarket, it's the same price. And transport, well, for what you get, it's really cheap. So for the last 4 weeks, I've been paying on my Oyster card pay-as-you-go to go to work, and actually that's relatively cheap. It's about £2.10 in each direction, so just over £4 a day, and that's how much I would pay if I was going in to where I was living in Manchester into the city centre every day to go to work. That's pretty much exactly the same as what I'd pay there. But there's something that I did some research on last week, and because the entirety of my journey is actually on National Rail rather than on the Underground, I can get a season ticket for the railways, which is here, and this is only about £13.30 for the week, which you may work out for, you know, a 5-day week is about £2.70 a day. It's not bad, is it? The real problem in London about transport, though, isn't public transport, because the public transport is fantastic. I mean, there's buses everywhere, even though there isn't any tubes or any trains. But you cannot park. Parking in London, and I'm in zone 2, so I suppose I'm quite close to the centre. But here there is a permit you have to pay if you want to park on the street at any time, and it's really quite expensive. Over £100 a year just to park outside your house. But having said that, you don't need a car. There is nowhere that you can't get to on the public transport, and for the odd time that you need something transported, you can either hire a car or you can get a taxi, and that's a lot cheaper. Although of course you can't get an Uber anymore, but other taxi apps are available. Even with all of this, the one thing that I have noticed in London, which is so different to everywhere else in the country, and that is that the lifts don't hang about. You get in a lift, as soon as you are through there and it senses there's nobody else coming through the doors close and off you go. How many places have you been where you're just standing around waiting for the doors to close, there's not even a button to close them yourself, and you're waiting for a good 10 seconds, say, before the doors shut? Well, it just doesn't happen in London. They're all set to, as soon as they realise there's nobody there, gone. Gone. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. If you've got any comments about what you think might be different between London and the rest of the UK, you can do that by leaving them in the comments just below. Or if you want to subscribe to my channel, because I make videos every single week, then you can do that by clicking just up there. Otherwise, if you want to watch another video, click just there. Thanks for watching, everybody. I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.